everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Startuprad.io, your podcast show with startup news and interviews from Germany.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Jörn from Startuprad.io, your startup podcast from Germany, once again with the regular monthly news wrap-ups, together with Christian, who is buried under tons of snow in New York right now, right?
True. I mean, not
Awesome.
inside.
And we have very mild temperatures here in Frankfurt and just a slightly bit of rain.
There you go. And
just to make you jealous.
Good enough to start a new year.
Good enough to start a new year. Talking about that, we just published our first news wrap-up for a whole year. That means we looked into all the 2017 wrap-ups we could find and put them together in a news recording, as well as the 2018 outlooks that will be posted online a few days ago. So have a look and find it on your favorite channel. We are available on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. And wherever you hear this, check out www.startuprad.io. There you find the link and can subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube blog. Sponsoring message. Support for this podcast and the following message comes from Slack. Millions of people and hundreds of thousands of companies rely on Slack to get their work done. For them, Slack is where all the people and tools they need to work are gathered, where ideas form, evolve, and reach fruition, where plans are proposed, documents exchanged, expenses approved, travels booked, and deals signed, where decisions are made and consensus is reached, where the humdrum becomes the easily done. Slack, where what happens. Find out why at slack.com. And as Christian and I already admitted, we are both pretty heavy users of Slack. As well as our project Startups.observer supports this program. Startups Observer is like online dating for startups and investors. Learn more at startups.observer. Disclaimer, Observer is a new top-level domain. Whew.
Yeah, it's good. We're thankful for Slack. And you're right. Basically everything can be done there. So good for them.
It's a place where everything can be done. Yeah, that should be their no slogan. Doing a little bit self-promotion here in the housekeeping. Startup Radio made it in the UK podcast download chart. Oh, what a surprise. We made it in the UK podcast download chart. It's awesome. Guys, you rock. Appreciate it, mates. Thanks. Woo!
Yes. When I read it, I couldn't really believe it. I thought something was wrong with the charts there, maybe. But I was obviously also very happy about it.
We made it into 84, and now you can tell we both have been together in the podcast download charts, or to say in the iTunes charts of Germany and the UK. And at one point, we're going to crack more countries, maybe even the US, but I do believe you just don't need a few thousand downloads a day to get into the US podcast download charts. I think you need a few 10,000 downloads a day to get there.
The other day, I read a piece about Crooked Media, which is now a left-wing media empire, mostly focusing on audio coming up right now. They are the company behind a podcast called Pod Save America, which is really nice and run mostly by former speechwriters of Obama. And it's a really, really great show. And in the New York Times, it said that they have a download per episode of around 1.5 million people. Yeah, and to come up with another housekeeping thing, we did a year in the review year ahead special, which you all should check out. Then we had a little interesting interview with the partner Raisin, partner being of PayPal, because PayPal plans to enter retail banking in Germany and the UK and is going to work together with Raisin. They are Berlin-based, and we have an interview with them.
Yes, check out how Tamas, he is a Georgian national, and check out the message and how he became from foreign students to a McKinsey partner in head of banking in Germany, and then decided to jump ship after the financial crisis to set up Raisin.com, which is in Germany called Weltsparen.
There you go.
Ecosystem.
Yeah.
How Bitcoin lost its ways as a means of exchange at Crunchbase News. And once again, the disclaimer, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are no real currencies, once again. And we find an interesting article, Competition in the Age of Amazon. If you're an online retailer, have a look there. And once again, taking on Amazon in retail, smart curation, in-store robots, and wowing shoppers. Everything you need to know as a e-commerce startup as well as a brick and mortar retailer. And once again, we read an interview with Mr. Kleber. Mr. Kleber is the CEO Germany of the Bespoken Amazon, and they want to open brick and mortar stores in Germany. Mr. Kleber said literally, it is not a question of if, but when, reported Manager Magazine. And Gründerszene writes, Rocket Internet is shifting its strategy. The former startup factory turns itself into a more traditional private equity company, investing in more established companies rather than building startups.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Amazon, I think it's interesting what's happening right now, because we talked about it here oftentimes already anyway, especially in retail or especially in grocery stores and talking about or having the Whole Foods merger in mind. Germany is a very price sensitive market in terms of groceries. So it's going to be interesting whether Amazon tries to apply the same strategy that they used for the US market and how it's going to work in Germany. Because also we saw oftentimes in the past that a couple of those big US companies really struggled in Germany. I mean, Starbucks had its issues. I think Walmart had Toys R Us.
Walmart had a lot of stores here in Germany. They actually, when one company was sold, they bought a lot of stores, mostly in towns where there has been traditionally a pretty big US Army base, and that worked for them for some time, but they then completely retreated and actually gone from Germany as of now.
I think people were mostly just irritated by the Walmart greeters at the entrance. And when someone wishes them to have a good day or welcome to Walmart, I think that's just not something that Germans want. And we're like, who are you? Are you making my eggs and milk more expensive because you stand here? Like, please leave. Please leave.
What I actually had that almost that made me jump was when I was in China, and one morning I forgot something and had to go to the Huatang, to the Ito-Yokado shopping mall just next to my house. There was a whole row of people, and it was standing there and smiling. And then when I set the first foot into the store, they all got in one choir, Ni hao, Huaning, and I jumped back. Whoa, what did I do wrong? Oh, they just welcomed me. Okay. And they all had a pretty good laughter on me.
Yeah.
I remember all the people bowing, Ni hao, Huaning.
There you go.
Yeah, that was great. Talking about hubs and Frankfurt. Frankfurt listed Naga, fintech. Actually, they had their world premiere on a podcast back in 2015 here on Startuprad.io. Completed its ICO, raising more than 50 million US dollars, reports Deutsche Startups.de. This is also good for the share price. It IPO'd in July 2017 for €2.60, now trading at 13 euros. Disclaimer, this post was already done in December, so the share price should be a little bit different. Also, Frankfurt-based energy startup Node Energy raises 6-digit venture capital, writes Vivo Gründer, meaning Wirtschaftswoche, which is a big periodical in business here in Germany. Node Energy's software helps to manage microgrids. Frankfurt PropTech accelerator Blackprint Booster takes in Berlin-based PropTech Simplify, which focuses on elevators, reported Portfolio Management. And since they're listed here in Frankfurt, Rocket Internet boss Oliver Sammer wants to enter the business with loans to startups up to 20 million euros per ticket. Therefore, they have set up a London-based subsidiary, Global Growth Capital, without any reference on their website to the original Oliver Sammer or Rocket Internet?
I think it's even more. I think it's 30 million actually, because you said 20. But yeah, it's definitely like a huge, huge ticket.
I'm totally sorry.
Okay, huge credit they gave.
30 million.
Leading us to some more company-related news. I think we might probably even rush through it a bit. So we have the Hamburg-based gaming startup Good Game Studios that was bought for a whopping 270 million euros in shares by Swedish Stillfront, as is being reported by Deutsche Startups.io. Then we have a Trivago, which is a Düsseldorf-based travel search engine, getting under pressure a bit. It IPO'd in December 2016 at Nasdaq for $11. Now it's trading at $7. And the German financial daily Handelsblatt writes that US investors are considering a lawsuit against it. And also the UK's competition watchdog is investigating whether comparison sites like Trivago and Hotels.com actually give people the best deals or not. So it seems to be a rather rough market environment there for them. We have a startup called CodeDoor.org, which caught our attention by doing something rather special and interesting, because they train refugees in the small town of Gießen to become programmers or developers right now. So definitely interesting, because with the German refugee or the people who arrived in Germany as refugees, mostly in 2015, they have very strict rules on what they are allowed to do and what kind of work they're allowed to do. So any initiative like this definitely helps to provide a perspective for the people that arrived. We have the online bank Revolut, which attacks now the Berlin-based hype fintech, let's say, N26, with Bitcoin trading and premium services. Gründerszene has some more articles about that, or some more details about that. And not every day we have startup news that are related to India and Germany at the same time, but the Frankfurt listed food delivery company Delivery Hero swaps shares of Food Panda for shares in the local heavyweight OLA, reports Deutsche Startups.io. So they are getting a foot in the door on the Indian market there.
Speaking about food and the most important drink going with it, especially for consultants, coffee. We have from our friends at CB Insights, this secretive German firm is consolidating the US coffee industry. JAB is the name of the company. It already bought companies you may know, like Keuring, Krispy Kreme, Panera, Caribou, Pets Coffee and Tea, and what my personal favorite part of Keuring, Green Mountain Coffee. They have awesome coffee, and the company is called JAB Holding. JAB serves as an investment vehicle for the Reimann family, the descendants of businessman Johann A. Bennigser, who founded industrial chemicals company Bennigser in the 1820s. And there's also venture capitalist Sven Schmidt invested in Maschinensucher, a German competitor of trade machines, or Machinio, writes NGIN Mobility. Schmidt will help with the scaling of the, since day one, profitable platform, they write. Exit and back. Berlin-based healthcare startup Vimeda, if you like to, offers blood tests for health screening. The company was sold in 2016 for 8 digits to US-based Neocherix, I do believe is the name of the company. Christian,
no, I'm just laughing
What's
because I'm thinking, like, people, if you build startups, make it an easy name in different languages, even for people like us. Otherwise,
yeah. The US-based company, whatever. But barely 1 year later, the founder buys the company back and renames it Lycan. Also, Instant Software, a supplier of business management and online solutions for vacational rental companies, you might say it's a prop tech, raised 20 million euros in venture capital from Axel and Target Partners. And also, there is a competitor of this law, WeWork. You may remember we did in the 2018 forecast in our Glass Bowl, What Brings the Future episode of the Startup News. We talked about this law, which is Spotify, Lyft, Airbnb, and WeWork. And the WeWork part, of course, it has some competitors. And there is Rent24. It's a company in Berlin that actually places themselves as a competitor of WeWork and Factory. And if you click on the link, you'll see some pictures there, even though you cannot read the text if it is in German. And Berlin-based crowd investing pioneer Companisto, still not profitable and tripled losses in 2016, reports Finanzszene.de after digging through published balance sheets. Also, there's further reading or ahead of the curve, building for the long term, lessons from Leonardo da Vinci from Knowledge at Wharton. Then subscription businesses are booming. Here's how to value them. And Frankfurt refugee integration into Germany, a future made to measure from Quantara.de. And then finally from CB Insights again, we analyzed 9 of the biggest direct to customer success stories to figure out the secrets to their growth. Here's what we learned.
Just a couple of articles to get yourself some reading. And I think that feels as if this is it. Because why add more?
This is it. And you will hear more from us in the coming future. Especially look for us towards the beginning of February. We will once again post Startup News wrap-ups for January 2018 this time.
Especially.
Thanks very much to New York. And I hope you're not freezing or get buried on the snow until then,
Christian Fahrenbach says goodbye. And talk to you next month. Bye-bye.
If Christian Fahrenbach says goodbye, it's officially
true that. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.